All right, all right. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Here we go. Day two. It's on, folks. I am so stoked for day two. And I got to tell you how impressed and proud I am of each and every one of you. Um, just, I was just so impressed yesterday and today with the amount of activity that you all are putting into this and really making this happen. So if you thought yesterday was good, today's going to get even better, and we have a lot to get into. So I'm not going to waste any time. We're going to just jump in right away, and that's kind of that's how I roll. So I hope you're okay with that. I hate I one of my pet peeves is like people that just start going through and like calling out these things and doing all this other stuff. It's like, let's get to the content. Let's actually start doing some transformation. Let's go. So that's what we're going to do right now. I just wanted to say thank you to all of you for showing up and really playing yesterday, because it shows, and I can see that those of you that stay, I'm telling you, those of you that stay all 5 days, I'm going to tell you things are going to massively shift in your life if you stay for all 5 days and you actually do this. And that's really what this is all about. So today is all about, let me get rid of this. Today is all about helping you, day two, achieving 10x results with much less resistance. So we're going to take the parking brake off of you and get you moving forwards in a much better way. And yeah, making it happen. So yesterday, you really got to understand this. Your perspective will either become your prison or your passport. It will either confine you to the way things are or launch you into the way things are meant to be. And I love that quote when I read it from Stephen Furtick. And I was like, that's exactly what it is. It's your perspective. It's either your prison or your power. So you can step into this now and really transform your life and shift your perspective, or you can stay in the same place you've always been, doing the same things that you're always doing. So for those of you that are here live, give me a hashtag live. For those of you that are catching on replay, give it a hashtag replay. I was saying to Adam before I came on today, just how impressed I am with all of you, like showing up, taking action, getting results, playing full out. And that's how you're going to see the shifts for yourself. So yesterday we talked about my screen is being weird. All right. Yesterday we talked about how your perception of the world is creating your reality, and how you're seeing and the programs that you have running right now are creating what you have going on in your life right now. If you look at any area of your life, the way that we are programmed is what we have. There's what we are getting. Okay. So yesterday we talked a lot about how to show up, and that's really important. And today we're going to give you update number two. We're going to show you how to take better action. Okay. We're going to remove the resistance and become more conscious, confident, intentional, and aligned today, so that when you do take action, it's 10xing what you're used to. That's the goal of today. Okay, so let's talk about the updates we're going to make in the brain today. So number one, we're going to begin your freedom plan. So I'm going to teach you how this is literally how I work with clients to help them build their freedom plans. And we're going to talk about what that is. We're going to learn the brain-based way to remove subconscious habit programs. So most of you brain battle right now, and that's why you can't break habits. And we're going to teach you how to do that so that you can. We're going to eliminate the top 3 physical power leaks that cause resistance for you. And we're going to take packed action to 10x your results. That's what we're going to get into. So let's go. So first, if you don't design your own life plan, chances are you'll fall into someone else's plan. And guess what they have planned for you? Not much. When I read Jim Rohn's quote there about 10 years ago, I was like, shit, I got to start making my own plans. Because if I don't, then I'm going to fall into negative thoughts. I'm going to fall into inaction. I'm going to fall into poor results, and I'm going to fall into uncertainty. And the reason why people aren't getting results in their life is because they have confusion, and confusion slows us down, stands in our way, and stops us because we don't actually know what do we want, why do we want it, what do we need to do to go get it, all of those things. And we're going to go deep today. This is not goal setting, folks. And for the VIPs, we're actually going to build this together today. We're going to actually go in and we're going to make this happen today. So we're going to remove confusion today. We're going to become the powerful leaders of our life. So this is the freedom plan. Okay, this is the freedom plan here. And the freedom plan, really what it's all about is helping you learn who do you need to become? Who do you need to become in order to overcome the biggest block in your life forever? Because Einstein said it this way, it's like no problem can be solved from the same level of consciousness that it was created from. So we have to change the way we're being. You can't change who you are from who you are. It just won't work. So we have to go deep. And that's why we do this the way we're going to do it, to help you see this in a different way. Okay. So this is the Potential You Freedom Plan. It's going to help you align your mind with the plan you design. Okay. And this is based off of a neurolinguistic programming technique called the logical levels. And I played with it a little bit and experimented with it a little bit to see the best way to utilize it with my clients and all of you lovely people today. So the Potential You Freedom Plan, the first thing that we need to do is figure out what environment we're trying to create. What do we want? Okay. Where do you want to be? What do you want? Why do you want it? So that's step one. Oh, I'm so sorry. Adam, will you do me a huge favor and will you post this in the Facebook group so that people will have access to this so they can actually make their own plan? So you guys will have this. This is one of the worksheets that I wanted to give you so that you can actually create your plan. So this is the worksheet that I give my clients so that they can create their plan so that we can work through it. And this is a 90-day thing, folks. So we're creating a plan for the next 90 days. Where do you want to be in the next 90 days? What do you want and why? You know, I do create year-long ones for myself, but I like to create them quarterly. It helps. But I'm going to show you both of them. I'm going to show you year-long one. I'm going to show you a quarterly one. Okay, and I'm going to show you a version of how to create this from a health perspective or how to create it from a business perspective. You can also do a relationship one. You can do it for anything, which is awesome. So where do you want to be? What do you want and why? What behaviors do you need to implement in order to get that thing? So what do I need to do and how? So I always tell people, pick 3 big things that you're going to do in 90 days. Like, what are 3 big things that you're going to do? And then we have our skills and capabilities. So what skills do I need to have? What do I need to hone? And the reason I choose 3, folks, like 1 to 3 is my max for pretty much anything. And the reason is because if you're focusing on more than 3 things, your brain like just gets lost. And I will tell you, it just gets too tricky for people. So I tell people, pick 3, you could start with 1. Today, I'm actually one of the extra bonus points that you'll get is just by adding 1 into each category. The next one is your values and your stories. So what matters to you and what would you need to tell yourself in order to achieve this? So do your values align with the environment that you're trying to create, the thing that you want? And do your stories align with that? Maybe not. Okay, and then we got to go into our beliefs. So thinking if you had achieved this goal, what would you have needed to believe and why? So like thinking from yourself from the future, what would you have needed to believe and why? And then we're getting into the big one here, the identity piece. Like I said, we have to shift the way we're being. Okay, so who do I need to be in order to get where I want to go? Who do I need to be? And now you might be like, I don't know any of these right now. Don't worry. We're going to go through it. We're going to dig into it together. Okay. So let's build your potential you freedom plan. So I want to just show you an example of a health and body freedom plan. So this is where it gets cool, because you can do this from a health perspective. You can do this if you want to get a relationship in 90 days. You could do this if you want to improve relationships. Let's say you want to improve relationships and your business. You want to get healthy and improve your business. You could do two of them. Okay. But I always say to people, like, pick the one thing that you are working on the most and just focus on that. So I'm going to show you a plan that this is a legit plan that I built live with a client. Okay. And we went through everything. And these were the things that her and I came up with in a one-on-one meeting. This is literally what we're going to do with the VIPs today. So if you want to do this with me live, you can always upgrade to VIP. That's totally fine. But this is exactly what we're going to do. We're going to look at what environment do you want to create. So for her, she said, I will release 15 pounds, 6 inches, and 3% body fat in 90 days. That's pretty freaking accurate, right? So she knows exactly what she's trying to do in 90 days. And we realized these were the main things that were going to help her. Okay, specifically for her. So this could be totally different for you, but for her, she needed to meal plan and prep. That was one behavior. She knew for her, weight release has nothing to do with exercise, but for her, the mental part of exercise was so beneficial. So 60 minutes of exercise for her. So it was 3 times 20 minutes. So 3 times a week, strength and conditioning sessions. She knew she needed to be doing some journaling, and she needed to get rid of her phone. She couldn't be looking at her phone after 9 p.m. and she couldn't start looking at it until 7 a.m. again. So that was big for her. And then the skills and capabilities. So what exercise to do. So she needs to know, what exercise do I need to do? And I need to have quality movement skills. So those were the exercise things she knew she needed. The second skill that she needed to learn was new recipes and cooking skills. So she just needed to get better at that. And the third skill she needed to hone in on was sleep optimization. That's totally game changer, especially if you're trying to release weight. And then let's talk about the values and stories. So the things that she values and the stories she created for herself so that she could achieve with this was, I always have the time to plan and prepare for my health success. That's a pretty good story, right? That's a value that she values herself. No matter how I feel, I exercise anyways. And then she had a little tricky time with sleep, and we did some subconscious work around that. And the other thing is, I told her, sleep comes upon me with ease and joy. So you don't fall asleep, it comes upon you. So that's a language pattern that I use with clients that have trouble with sleeping. And then we got into her beliefs. I am worthy of self-care. I am an athlete. I am committed to exercise. I am a gourmet chef. These were things that she was hardwiring to her belief system so that she could release all of those, release that weight and those inches and that body fat. And then the way that she needed to be, her identity, she needed being committed, being self-integral, and being compassionate to herself. So keeping promises to herself, being committed to this goal, and being compassionate along the journey. So this is an example of creating a freedom plan. Now, the cool thing is what we did with this after we built this out with her, we took it and we went into each thing and we looked at the mini habits that she would need to have inside of each thing. So you could go as deep as you want to go, but this is next level. This is like the game changer stuff. Most people, when they're setting goals, they stop at like, what do they want and what are they going to do? They don't think about the skills. They don't think about values and stories. They don't think about beliefs. They don't think about identity. They don't think about any of this stuff. And that's the stuff. We talked about it yesterday. If you're not showing up with the right facts, focus, and feelings, and now your freedom plan, it's going to be so hard to take that packed action. So let's do a business one. So this one is actually, this is mine. So I'm going to show you, this is legit this year what I'm doing. Okay. So I'm looking to grow my business to $300,000 this year. Okay. And the way that I'm going to be doing that over the next 90 days, I'm going to do 6 speaking engagements every 90 days. So this is one of my speaking engagements over these next 90 days. Okay. I'm going to establish 10 solid brand ambassadors. So those are people that are going to share this challenge with other people. And I pay them to share my challenge. So they're affiliates. They are people that help me. And you all could be one of those people. If you thought this was good and you're like, oh, other people need to be a part of this, you share it and I pay you. It's pretty awesome. Okay. So that's a way to drive leads and get people into your business. Okay. And that's what I teach my clients how to do. This third one is do 3 live launch workshops every 90 days. So this is one, then I'm going to do another one next month. And then I'm going to do another one the month after that. So that's the goal. I'm going to redo this challenge 2 more times. So one next month and the one after that. So I just know that this is all going to create that's the behavior that's going to create that outcome. If I do this over the next couple 90 days, next 3 quarters, it's going to change my life and it's going to change a lot of other lives. So what are the skills I need to have? I need to be intentionally structured. So there needs to be really solid time management. I have a lot of things going on in my life, and anyone that's an entrepreneur does, and you just need to be intentional and structured with that. And that's really self-management, not necessarily time management. Okay. Connecting and relationship building with 10 quality ambassadors a month. So I'm looking for 10 people a month that can really help me help other people. And then number 3 is daily self-care and lifestyle optimization. So making sure that I'm taking care of myself. And I'm going to help you figure that out today as well. My values and stories. I'm extremely organized, intentional with my time and focused. So I had to tell myself, because honestly, folks, there was years there where my ADHD got the best of me and I wasn't these things. So these are the stories I tell myself now, and it's helped a lot. I have so much value to bring to partners. My self-care is so important and reflects in all areas of my business. And then these are my beliefs. I'm an amazing transformational coach. My dharma on this planet is to serve entrepreneurs. My coaching, content, and value transforms lives. And last but not least, I'm being intentional, organized, and focused. I'm being relentlessly bold, and I'm being aligned with my purpose and people. And this is the way that I'm going to create this outcome at the end of the year. Okay, this is how it's going to happen. So if you are right now trying to think about yours, right? I was talking to one of the VIPs yesterday, and he was saying, I want to have really solid relationships with my family, and I want to be an entrepreneur at the same time. And you can have it both, folks. Don't have to pick one or the other. You can have both of them, and you can build one for each and look at how you can meld them together. You may have noticed in here, part of my business plan is self-care. And I'm going to show you why. And if you were here in the pregame, you know why, because I messed myself up when I was running my first business. So you got to take care of yourself. So that's the freedom plan. And that's how you build it. So you will have access, and Adam will post this in the Facebook group, and you'll have access to build your own, and you'll be able to go through it, and you can go back to this video and you can start to build out your plan. And if your mind tries to talk you into or out of, if your mind tries to talk you out of building that plan because it's getting stuck in the perfectionist saboteur, and the judge is judging you, oh, you can't do this, blah, 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 blah. Remember, tell it, thank you for sharing. I am going to create my freedom plan. I will create the environment and the outcome that I want to create in my life so that I can make my dreams become a reality, because I'm the creator of my reality. And then 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go take action. Okay. So far, we have show up, facts, focus, feelings, and freedom plan. That's part one of the formula, folks. So now showing up probably at this point means something a lot different from you. If showing up means something different for you, type yes in the chat box, because if it means something different for you now, then you're going to now show up better. That's the goal. Like, this whole formula is going to help you 10x anything that you want to create in your life. So that's number one. So now we're going to get into the next part. How you show up matters just as much as what you do. So we learned that yesterday, and we added a little bit more on today. And now we're going to get into the doing part of it, and we're going to help you learn how to actually break habits, because a lot of us just don't know how to do that yet. So you don't get what you want, you get your habits. So your perception right now and your identity and your beliefs and your values are creating your habits, and your habits are creating your reality. Your habits are creating your results. If you look at any area of your life of what you have or don't have, it's all based on your subconscious habits. So everything you have or don't have is because of your habits. And it's your habits of action, things that you're doing, or the things that you're not doing in action. And every habit action is a subconscious commitment to prioritizing something. So this is going to be a gut check for some people. Okay. So slight trigger warning, just heads up, because, and knowing that it's all subconscious, folks, is like, you're committing to something, whether what you do and what you don't do. So for every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. So this is science, folks. So basically, think of it like this. So if you're a person that has a habit of getting quality sleep versus not, then you are getting energized and productive versus fatigued and unfocused. So it's that subconscious commitment to prioritizing not sleeping or prioritizing sleeping well, right? Eating healthy versus not eating healthy is vitamin efficient versus vitamin deficient. Exercise versus not is energy and stress decrease versus low energy and stress increase. Connecting and networking for your business versus not doing that is building a successful business versus not building a successful business. It's really, this is what it is. It's like habit is it. So you don't change your mindset, you change your habits. So we showed you how to change your focus, and changing your focus and changing your feelings and looking at the facts and creating your freedom plan. Those are all habits. It's a habit to consciously look at this stuff and be engaged with yourself, because 95% of everything you do is the result of habit. And I'm going to show you right now how insanely powerful this is. Every day is the same habit. Think about it. You wake up in the morning. Most of you grab your phone, okay, and you look at it, and you are reacting to the world. Okay, so first habit you should get rid of is stop doing that. So then you may go to the bathroom, then you might get your coffee going or your water going, and then you do whatever, but it's usually the same thing every day, and you don't think about it. So now you're just going to start consciously looking at, okay, what do I do every day? And you think you're making the decision, but 95% is your brain making the decision based on your habits. There was a study done in Europe where they looked at, they had all of these participants wear electrodes on their head, and it was measuring blood flow in their brain. And what they did is they gave each participant something to choose from, and they had an A and a B button. And when they would press the A or B button, they started to realize in the study that 7 to 10 seconds before they pressed the A or the B, their brain made the decision for them. So 7 to 10 seconds before you thought you made the choice, your subconscious mind did it for you, right? An example of this is like when you're driving your car, you get to a yellow light, you don't like freak out and you're like, oh my God, a yellow light. You either slow down or you drive through it. You have a habit of one or the other. Okay. So you just do things. You're not thinking about it. So different outcomes need different habits. And you can't break your habits with your prefrontal cortex. So the way you can't outthink your habits. You can repeat new habits. You can't brain battle them, which we'll talk about in a moment. So review. You are not your habits, but your habits dictate your results. You can't use your prefrontal cortex to self-talk, motivate, worry, and willpower your habit change. And you can't fight your habit urges with motivation and willpower. Any of you that have tried this in a diet or a relationship or exercise or business, like you try to do these things, you'll lose. Emotion trumps logic. It just does. And that's why the show up part of before we take action and change our habits is so important. Showing up with the facts, the right focus, the best feelings, and the right freedom plan. That's going to help you overcome that emotional logic shift that you have going on there. And again, very, very important, do not personalize your habits because they are not you. All right, don't personalize your habits. They're not you. I'm going to make this really even more clear. A habit is just a habit. It is not you or a reflection of your character. It's like a toaster. You don't get mad at a toaster for toasting toast. It's what it's programmed to do. Okay, same with your habit programs right now. They just run, folks. They've been running to protect you, keep you safe, keep you familiar, predictable, certain. They keep things, if you had to think of everything that you had to do every day, your brain would explode. Like you just wouldn't be able to handle it. It wouldn't really explode, but you get what I mean. So a lot of times people are like, oh, I'm a procrastinator. You're not. You just have a habit of procrastinating. That's the difference. You can change that habit. So you are not, from an identity standpoint, a procrastinator. That's just not like, it's not ingrained in your DNA. You didn't like get that. You didn't get that DNA strain. Okay. So don't change your mindset, change your habit set. So let's teach you how to program update your habits. Okay. So we dismiss the old habit program and move our attention. So let me tell you what I mean by that. So let's go through the old way that people do it. This is the old program that most people run before I start working with them. They have the trigger, right? This is the external or internal cause that starts the habit loop to start. So I'm stressed. I just got home from work and I'm hangry. Or like, I really don't feel like networking today or building my business, blah, 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 blah. And that sends you an urge and a craving. Call this the habit alarm. So it might be like, I need to go and eat ice cream right now, or I need to go watch Netflix and procrastinate building my business right now. So you get this urge. You can physically feel this a lot of times. You're like, oh, like it can make you feel extremely uncomfortable because your mind is sending signals to your body, and your body's like, you need to follow this because up until this point, it's kept us alive. That's really the message it's sending to you. So you battle with this alarm in your sabotage mind. You do this brain battle back and forth, right? I shouldn't eat the pizza. I should eat the pizza. I shouldn't eat the pizza. I should eat the pizza. I want to build my business. I don't want to build my business. I want to build, right? I want to connect with people. I don't want to connect with people. Whatever it is. I want to get into a relationship. I don't want to get into a relationship. This is the habit alarm. And then you give in and you beat yourself up because you tried to battle your brain. And I told you yesterday, if you go in the ocean and you try to fight the ocean, it's going to slam you. You need to learn how to surf. We need to learn how to surf it. And I'm going to show you how to surf it right now so that you can actually change this this is the brain-based method. Okay, this works with the brain, not against the brain. You're not fighting yourself. So the new program, how to change your subconscious habit loop. So first we need to dismiss this habit, okay? Because it's not you. So first thing is, this is just an old habit program. It's not me. So when your mind, when you're about to go do this thing, okay, whatever your thing is, whatever you want to stop doing, you need to say this out loud. This is just an old habit program. It's not me. I delete this old habit program. Okay? Needs to be done out loud. This is just this old program that runs. It's not me. I delete this old habit program. And then you move your attention. A lot of people will do the first part and not the second part. Okay? And that's the problem. So it's kind of like, imagine if you were trying to quit drinking alcohol, but you were in a bar and you're sitting at the bar and you're like, you say out loud, this is just an old habit program of it's not me. I'm not a drinker. I delete this old habit program, but you stay in the bar and all your buddies are like, yeah, dude, whatever. Okay. You need to move your attention. You need to leave the bar. You need to get out of that situation. You need to move your attention to what you want versus what you don't want. This is the being thing that I was talking about. It's changing who you're being so that you can get what you want in life. So you have to move your attention, and we move our attention using that eliminating ants formula that we talked about yesterday. We say, thank you for sharing. I am, I will, so that 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go take action on what you want instead. And moving your attention is so powerful. Think about it this way. I cannot want what I am not thinking about. I'm going to say it again. I cannot want what I'm not thinking about. If you're not thinking about eating pizza, you're not going to want pizza, right? But what happens is the pizza rolls up and you're looking at it and you're like, oh, I'm not going to eat the pizza. I'm not going to eat the pizza. I'm not going to be, you're thinking about the pizza. You're focusing on the thing that you don't want to have happen. So that comes back to the focus. And then your feelings get all wild, right? Because you have these interpretations. And then that's the trigger that we're talking about, which creates the habit alarm, which creates the brain battle, which beats yourself up and blah, 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 blah. And this is all happening at a subconscious level, folks. So we need to move our attention, because you are where your attention is. You are whatever you choose to focus your attention on. Your perception is creating your reality. And fear is only false evidence appearing real. I told you, a lot of this stuff is an illusion. All right. So when we repeat this and we keep doing this over 66 days, at least, then we have a new habit in place. Most of us thought it was 21 days. That was taking out of context. Okay. But James Clear, Atomic Habits, great book. It's on average 2 months. Okay. It's on average 2 months to do this. And before we get into this, actually, I'm going to say this. So does this make sense? I guess is my first question. Like, in the chat box, if you're with me live, if you're here, just play. Let me know. Like, does this make sense? How to use this to break habits? Now, the irony in this, just like the irony in this challenge here, is that you actually have to implement that new habit of using that new program. You know, this is just a habit. It's not me. This is just my old program. I delete it, right? This is something that you have to start doing out loud in order for it to work. If you don't do it, it won't work. You'll go back to your own brain battle way of doing things. So that's why, you know, I work with clients over 3 months, 6 months, a year to help them do this stuff, because they fall back into their old subconscious patterns, because that's just what happens, right? So let's get into removing the resistance now. So how you physically feel can make or break how you show up and whether or not you take action. This was me. This was totally me. And this was like, I destroyed my health and well-being, like I told you all in the pregame, and I just don't want that to happen to you. So it's time to change your state. So we're going to show you how to eliminate the top 3 physical power leaks that cause resistance. These 3 things, they're the most basic things that you can do. And I will tell you, I would say 90% of the people I come across aren't doing these basics. They're trying to do things higher than these basics, but they don't have these down. I know, because I was one of them. I was 100% one of these, like I would have one of the things down, but not the other 2, or I'd have 2 of them down, but not one, and now I have all 3 and I feel like a superhero some days. I feel so much freaking better. And I'm able to show up and do things like this in a better way. So like I said, it's like you're driving around. If you're not taking care of these things, it's like you're driving around with the parking brake on. We got to get the parking brake off. So what's the first thing we need to do? We need to pick only pick one habit to add or subtract to reduce your power leaks. Like I told you yesterday, your psyche, your brain, and your organ are all interconnected, folks. And when you can do one of these habits, it's going to improve all 3 of these. It's going to be game changer. But if you're trying to do too much, you're trying to eat the whole thing in one bite, you're not going to do it. So like yesterday, the reason so many of you took action was because I gave you one thing. I was like, I want to know what your ants are. And then I gave you a little extra bonuses. A lot of you did it. It was awesome. But it's really like, what's the one thing? Okay. So out of these 3 things I'm going to show you today, I want you to pick one inside of one. So I'm going to show you what I mean by that. So let's talk about sleep. Sleep is number 1. Sleep is a huge key to removing one of your power leaks. Okay. This is the effects of sleep deprivation. Okay. Tons of things: risk of cancer, obesity, weakening your immune system, risk of heart disease, increased blood pressure, risk of death. The enormous cost of sleep deprivation. In America alone, it's $411 billion. That's the cost of sleep deprivation. Sleep is so huge, folks. This is one that I needed to prioritize and get right. So when we're going to talk about how to prioritize and lowest standards and all that stuff and boundaries on Friday. And that's like the biggest day out of all of them. So think of it this way. You wouldn't let this happen to your phone. Don't let it happen to you either. So here are examples of ways to help you sleep. There's in the Stress-Free CEO life masterclasses that I did in here in this Facebook group, there's a whole one just on rest and recovery and sleep. So you could go in there and find more, but here's basic ones. Daily schedule. So going to bed at the same time, waking up at the same time. That's one option of one of the ones you could pick. Moving your body more. That's another one. Avoiding heavy food. So like stopping your food before it's time to go to bed, right? Digital detox. So like either wearing blue light glasses or removing that out of your life before it's bedtime. Bath before bed. Little Epsom salt bath. Woo! Fantastic. Getting some magnesium soaking in your body. Wonderful. Getting your room super dark. Blacking out everything. Keeping your room cool. Making sure your bed is comfortable. These are all basic ways to help you improve your sleep. Okay, there's others that I use with clients, but this is just pick one. Okay, and some of you are like, oh, I sleep like a baby. I don't have this problem. Maybe. We'll talk about tracking in a moment. So that's that. All right. So let's talk about entrepreneurs' upgrades of this. So Vicky Kolpin wrote a whole book called The Business of Sleep. And she talks about how it improves your memory, your decision-making, your creativity, your health, your mood, and you're more productive. So that's going to mean more income and a better lifestyle. So you're tying money to sleep. That's going to make you sleep more, right? Second one is eating. What we're putting in our body. So the total cost due to treatment and lost productivity, from our food and our intake. This is things caused by food intake. Diabetes, cancer, heart disease, obesity, all of these things, like billions of dollars. And the effects of nutrient deficiency, hair loss, high blood pressure, hormonal imbalance, depression, fatigue, the list goes on and on. That's just a small list. All right. So there's a lot of issues with non-functional eating. Notice the words I'm using there. There's no good or bad. So I'm using language specifically here, folks. Non-functional. And that may be particular to you. Let me show you what I mean. So I'm going to keep it super simple right now. Now, when I work with clients, we go so deep that you will know exactly what to eat and what serves you. But right now, I'm going to show you the basics that could help you in a huge way. You just dial this in. So number one, 80% of your intake should come from real food. So what is real food? Fruits, vegetables, quality protein, whether it's vegetable-based or animal-based, and healthy fats, avocados, salmon, things like that, nuts, seeds, all that stuff. So that's your real food coming from real food. And then the 20% is coming from whatever else you want, with one caveat. Okay. If you have food sensitivities, gut issues, and or hormonal issues, so you're having trouble when you eat the other 20% that you're eating, if it's making you feel tired, you're getting a racing pulse. These are examples of food sensitivities, right? You're getting itchy skin. You feel exhausted, like you need to take a nap, right? You have acid reflux. You get bloating. You get constipation or diarrhea or whatever it is, right? These are examples of food sensitivities. Your body is not happy with what you're putting in it. And a lot of times people don't even know what's going on with that. So examples of foods that I've found clients have trouble with: dairy, gluten, grains, nuts, seeds, yeast, soy, caffeine, sugar, citrus fruits, eggs, nightshades, and processed foods. Those are examples of things people could have sensitivities to. I've had people have sensitivities to a lot of things. So it's just looking at that, because if the 20% is doing that, then it's going to really mess with the other 80%. So it depends on the client, depends on the person. But if you start with the 80-20 rule, it's a good place to start. And the difference between males and females when you're making a plate of food. So I'm just going to use females for example. Well, it's actually down here. It's that picture. So females, it's one hand. Males, it's two hands, unless you're training really hard and you're a super athletic female. Okay. So palm of protein, fist of non-starchy vegetables, cupped handful of starchy vegetables or fruits or grains and things like that, and then a thumb's worth of healthy fat. Now, this is just examples, folks. Do I do this with every client? No. Some people can't handle it, and we need to switch it and change it. But this is like, if I was talking to the average person, this is what I would do with them. And then you also really just need to examine, what are your food rules? Like, people got food rules, and their relationship with food is all kind of messed up, and they have judgment and guilt and shame around it. So like, if you have that going on, we should probably have a conversation, because you're gonna brain battle with yourself, and it's gonna be hard to break that habit. And then what are your antecedents and triggers that cause you to go down this rabbit hole? A lot of people say falling off the wagon, which I hate that term. But it's like looking at it, okay, what's causing this? So going back to the mind is always the linchpin in all of this, folks. So the gut-brain connection, hormonal imbalance, and nutrient deficiencies messed myself up and my business up. I closed my first business because my gut bacteria had such an impact on my emotions, behaviors, and thought patterns, because it's your second brain. And when I learned everything that I learned about gut health, it changed the way that I approached it. And I was like, this is such a key piece to building a business and having a career and having a loving relationship with my family members. Like, it just messes with weight gain, fatigue, irritability, low sex drive, all this stuff. It's what's creating these hormonal imbalances. So the way that we balance our hormones is through improving our gut health. And that's really what we're eating and how we're sleeping. That's going to make or break your business. And last but not least, inactivity. It's also, as you can see, a very costly problem. So increasing entrepreneurial power with daily movement. So when you do this, you're going to have a sharper mind, better problem solver, energy, better sex life, more confident, better memory, stress relief, focus, longevity, sleep better, right? And this is a basic way of tracking it and just looking at it. Like, how many push-ups are you doing a week? How many squats do you do a week? Pull-ups. Keep it simple, right? This is literally what I do. I'm not even joking. This is the basics. I try to get these things done, 60 to 70 of them a week. All right. And some of you are going to be like, well, I don't have time. I'm going to show you in a moment how to make time. Okay. Because we make time. So this is a foundational movement habit stack. So this is an example right now. If your story in your head is like, well, I'm a parent and I have little kids and I can't find time to exercise. This is me exercising with my son. I hope you enjoy it. This is me playing with him, doing squats, doing rows, some push-ups, and some deadlifts, some pull-ups, and and some lunges, some reverse lunges there, a plank. And then he was like, hey, let's jump over this barbell here. And I was like, all right, let's do it. All right. So he's just funny. And it's like, that's the thing, folks. It's 100% possible when you make it possible. It's how you look at it. And I'll tell you this, both of my boys see how important exercise and movement is to me and my wife, and it's going to create that habit for them as well. So what we're doing as entrepreneurs, as parents, is actually creating their reality as well. So when they see you being, and I was saying this to the VIP yesterday, I was like, you're showing your kids and your wife how to chase your dreams as an entrepreneur, but you can also show up for them at the same time. That's an example of it right there. So here's the breakdown. It's not about difficulty. It's about building the habit and showing up every day. So 5 squats when you get out of bed, 5 pushes when you get out of the shower, 5 reverse lunges before you sit down and do work, 5 bent over rows with water jugs right before lunch, 10-second plank right when you finish work, walk around the block when you get home. Super simple. Straightforward, right? That's how you start. It's just how you start. And if that's too difficult, pick one of those. Just pick one. Always something versus all or nothing. I'm going to say it again. Always something versus all or nothing. Oops, not trying to play that again. Sorry, guys. So my habit warning to you, don't build your career and business at the expense of your health, well-being, and lifestyle. I did it. It's a horrible thing. It's the reason that my gym is gone. But I will tell you this, everything happens for a reason, folks. And I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing right now, which is being here with all you, teaching you the unstoppable entrepreneur formula. That's really what I was meant to do, not run a gym. So there's reasons for everything. So what subconscious messages does it send to your body when you don't love it and care for it? Many of you are so good at giving, but you don't have that subconscious programmed habit of receiving right now. You're really good at giving to others, but receiving is tricky. And that's an enoughness thing. I know, because I dealt with that for a very long time. So far, we have show up with your 4 F's, facts, focus, feeling, and freedom plan. And now with the last 10 minutes today, which I feel like I'm doing good on time, I'm going to show you how to take packed action. So we removed the resistance. We know how to break some habits. And now I'm going to show you how to take packed action in your life. This is how we show up and then take action. So this is why my company is called The Potential You. This one quote that I read by Napoleon Hill when I read Think and Grow Rich for the first time, it said, knowledge is only potential power. It becomes power only when and if it is organized into definite plans of action and directed to a definite end. Napoleon Hill. That is what made me name my company The Potential You, because it's only potential. If you're learning and learning and learning and you're not taking action, it's just potential. So you have an option right now to take packed action with the stuff we're going to learn here today around the body. And then tomorrow, if you are at any stage of your business, I'm going to help you up level it. And if you don't have a business and you want to create one, I'm going to show you how to do it. Okay. I'm going to give you some awesome stuff on the business side of things tomorrow. So let's go. It's not about perfect action, folks. Imperfect action is better than perfect inaction. So if we're not doing things, we talked about why that happens yesterday. I myself fell into a trauma hole and I was stuck and I needed to work through that. So I have clients, and this is the thing, I have clients that jump from business program to business program, are bleeding money, and they've never taken care of that inner stuff. They're good at doing all the outer game stuff, but they're working with the resistance on, the brake on, right? So if that's you, we need to get that brake off, and we need to work through that stuff so that the stuff that I teach you tomorrow will matter and will start to really move you forwards. So that's why I needed to do these two things on day one and day two. So persistence. Persistence is the first P in PACT, okay? Or it is the only P in PACT. So it's all about, it's the act of continuing in an opinion or course of action in spite of difficulty and opposition for 90 days plus. So what happens to a lot of people is they're persistent for a day. So we got to be persistent for 90 days or more in the pursuit of what we want and the habit that we're trying to create. So the habit you pick today, we got to be persistent with it. And my favorite person I think about, I know this might seem weird to some of you, but I just love Harriet Tubman. She's one of those people that, like, I've talked to great length. My wife thinks it's funny that I just love her so much, because it's like, this woman is the definition of persistence in my mind. Like, she just never quit. She never quit. This lady rescued about 70 people, family and friends, during approximately 13 trips back down to Maryland. So literally she gets out and she makes it up to the north, and then she goes back 13 more times to save more people. She keeps going back despite anything else that's going on, right? Like that's persistence. That's never giving up. Like, I love her. Like, I just love everything about that. So it's like, this is the reason I love it, is because, like, anytime I'm like, oh, I don't feel like it, or whatever it is, like, I just think of her. I think, like, I will never have it anywhere close to as hard as she did. So what do I have to be worried about? You know? So the most essential factor is persistence. The determination to never allow your energy or enthusiasm, your feelings and your focus, to be dampened by discouragement. This is one of my favorite pictures. Some of you may relate. You get really close to something and then you give up, or you shift, or you change your plan, or something happens because you're letting the way that you're showing up is stopping you from getting it, right? Your facts, your focus, your feelings, and your freedom plan is slowing you down. All right. So this is a great question you can ask yourself. This is a great question. I just want to make sure that I'm doing okay.
This is a great question.
Here, can y'all mute yourself?
Great question.
Adam, will you help me out? Will you mute everybody in the VIP room? So this is a great question that will help you with persistence. I use this question all the time. So the question is this. The question is this: at the end of your life, what would you have wished you'd chosen at this juncture? So when you're about to make a decision of whether you persist on or not, think about your elder self. What would you have wished you had chosen at this juncture? That's going to make you make a very different decision. Let's talk about the A, impact. This is about accountability. So there's two types of people. People that think accountability is a big deal, which I am one of those people. And then there's people that are like, can't be held accountable for actions if you have none. So there's those, that's the way we roll. So it's like, I'm telling you, accountability is huge. When you take action and you have accountability on the back end, internal and external, it can really, really, really 10x your results. So there's internal accountability, holding yourself accountable. A lot of us, we'll get into programs where like, what's the guarantee? What are you guaranteeing? And the thing is, we've never looked at ourselves and asked ourselves for a guarantee, kept the promise to ourselves, that guarantee that we're going to make it work. We don't ask ourselves for our money back. So it's like, you need to guarantee yourself. You need to start holding yourself accountable and looking at yourself. That was what day one was all about, was looking at yourself. And today too is also about looking at yourself. Really, this whole week is going to be about that. So this is the accountability piece. And the fact that you're showing up and doing this stuff with me shows that you're accountable. And the people that are playing this game, which you're going to see the game board, those people are playing the game because they're trying to hold themselves accountable. And they're looking for my accountability as well. And that's how you win this game. So there's two types of motivation. There's the carrot and the stick. Most people are away from pain people rather than towards pleasure people. Most people. I've come across a couple people that are towards pleasure people. I call them wild cards. And this is the basic breakdown. So like, the people that have change, they have pleasure of change, or they have the pain of change or not changing, right? And then there's the other side of that. So it's like, I find in the beginning, it's good to have that pain to push you forwards, and then be careful of the pain amnesia. And we'll talk about that in other sessions. So let's talk about accountability externally. So this is how you set it up. So there's one of three types of external accountabilities that you can get set up for yourself. So you can get in find a friend, or, a friend who's growth minded and committed, people on a similar journey to you, and get those people to hold each other accountable. I've found this to be mildly beneficial. I will tell you that when you pay somebody who's achieved what you want and then have them help you, that helps even more. Okay. Or they've done it, or they've helped other people achieve what you want. So that's where social proof goes a long way. And as entrepreneurs, it's good to have that, right? So like, helping you see that like this person can help you get that result. It's definitely beneficial. So surround yourself with those on the same mission as you. And a coach is someone who tells you what you don't want to hear, who has you see what you don't want to see, so you can be who you have always known you could be. I hire coaches to call me on my bullshit, to let me see the things that I didn't know were there. That's why I've spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on that, because it's made me, it's allowed me to become the person that I am today. It's allowed me to create things like this. When you pay attention. Accountability breeds responsibility. We got the C and the T, and then we're wrapping this up. So is being consistently inconsistent being consistent? Think about it, right? So consistent is acting or doing in the same way over time, especially so as to be fair and accurate. Consistency is huge. And once again, has to be 90 days or more. And Bruce Lee is a great example of this. Long-term consistency trumps short-term intensity. He said, I fear not the man who has practiced 10,000 kicks once, but I fear the man who has practiced one kick 10,000 times. So it's just the part that he fears the person that is being a certain way. Okay, so here's the 4 stages of transformation. This is how people go through it. So it's inception. This is like New Year's Day where you're like, oh, I really want this thing. I can't wait to go get it. And then you start off in that journey, and then everyone hits what I call the deception hole. You're going to hit that hole of like, oh, I can't do this. This is too hard. It hurts, whatever it is. And then those that break through that hole, they get to transformation, and they start having transformation in their business. They start having transformation in their relationships or in their health. And then this is the most dangerous place to be, though, because it hasn't become an identity yet. And what happens is people teeter-totter between deception and transformation, and they've stayed there for years. I know, I've done it, folks. All this shit I've done. So I'm here to show you how to not do it. And the way you don't do it is commitment. It's the bridge between inception and identity. And I thought I was a committed person, but I realized that I was having trouble with ownership and owning certain things that I was doing. And I had stories around that. I was like, I'm responsible. I would respond, but I didn't take ownership of it. And so my old focus and my old feelings and my old habits and identity kept me stuck. And they might be keeping you stuck right now because you're not being consistent, which is really committed. Because it's easy to do what you are, and it's hard to do what you're not. I'm going to say that again. It's easy to do what you are, and it's hard to do what you're not. I myself have never smoked. I've never been a smoker. I never smoked a cigarette. So like, it's not hard for me to not smoke. I don't even think about it because it's not who I am. Right. And when I was breaking the habit of drinking, like when I stopped drinking, I used to be a person that drank. And then now, like, I don't even think of myself as a non-drinker because it's just not I don't even think about it. Like I'll have a drink once a year, maybe, but I don't even think about it. So the question you ask yourself is the action I'm about to take consistent with who I was or who I'm becoming? That's a writer downer. Is the action I'm about to take consistent with who I was or who I am becoming? And this is one I use all the time, myself and my clients. So instead of saying, instead of saying I don't have the time, try saying it's not a priority and see how that feels. That one hits hard when you say that. It's just like, damn. Because it's true. If you're not doing something, it's just not a priority. And a lot of times it's just a subconscious reason why it's not a priority. And it's messing with our consistency. So consistency hack, I stack my new habits to be more successful. So you stack your habits with other things. So if you're trying to improve, your sleeping, you stack it with, whatever you do at night. If you're trying to improve your eating habits, you stack it with other things. So like, let's say you're trying to drink more water. You stack it with the first, right when you wake up, you drink more water. That's an example. The T, and this is it, folks. Tracking. Okay. You need to track to observe or follow the course of progress. Needs to be done written or digital. Can't be up in your head. Okay. It has to be over 90 days. Got to track your progress. Okay. Tracking your habits. Habit tracking is powerful for 3 reasons. Number 1, it creates a visual cue that can remind you to act. That's one of the most powerful things. It is motivational to see the progress you're making, and you don't want to break the streak. I'm going to talk about streaking in a moment. And it feels satisfying to record your success in the moment. So I'm going to show you the things that I track or I teach others to track. So examples of tracking. So how you feel, what basically every day, like what's your state? Like, how do you feel today? So not your circumstance, your state. And then your gratitude. Like I write down one thing I'm grateful for every single day. I have a gratitude journal. I also capture my ants, my automatic negative thought stories. If you didn't catch day one, go back to day one. Okay? That we talk all about that. But I capture one ant every day. And it allows me to nip it in the butt when you make it apparent and you see it. And then I track my wins. Wins are any small little thing that you do. So my wins when I was stuck in a trauma hole and I was depressed and super anxious was getting out of bed in the morning. That's a win. Brushing your teeth, that's a win. Taking a shower, that's a win. The little things that you do every day are wins that you don't realize. Like I love working with moms because like they do so freaking much every day, but they don't realize how epically amazing they are and how much they're doing. Body care tracking. So I also track my body. I track my mind, track my body. So I track things like sleep, food, movement. I don't really track food anymore because I have that dialed in, but some people might need to track that. Mental fitness and different therapies that I do. Like I take cold showers and I go in a cold bucket every day. And heat, saunas and things like that. And then I have something that I use with my clients called the Ultimate Troubleshooting Tracker. It's something I created over 15 years, and it's game changer. I can tell I'm talking too much. It's what guarantees people results in my program. That's actually how I can guarantee results, because we can track it and know exactly what's going wrong, so I can know exactly how to help them fix it. And then business tracking. This is how I can guarantee results from a business standpoint. If you don't know your numbers, you don't know your business. So here's some basics. Okay. So we're going to get a lot into this tomorrow, but how many connections are you making in person, online? How many requests are you sending, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, whatever? How much value and content are you posting? Tracking all that stuff. How many conversations? So one-to-one, maybe on direct messenger, in-person networking, or one-to-many, like a speaking engagement, like what I'm doing right now. Follow-up, how many relationships did I nurture? And if you're not doing this, somebody on your team needs to be doing this, whatever it is. So it's really making those relationships and those nurture connections. Front-end offers. So a front-end offer is like a call to action, CTA's call to action. So it could be like, do you resonate with this post? Or it could be a lead magnet, like a checklist, a PDF. This challenge is a lead magnet. Masterclass, video sales letter, webinar, or it could be your products. So if you're a network marketer, it could be the actual product that you sell that in your network marketing company. And then core offers are your products, services, coaching, consulting, whatever it is. So like coming back to network marketers, like I always tell network marketers, your core offer, sorry guys, is really helping people build businesses. So you're your business coach. But it's like, for me, I have core offers. I'll show you what my offers are later this week. So if you feel like that's something that's right for you, great. But I'll show you how I built them, and you can see how you build your core offers as well. And it's really based off of who you love serving, who you love helping, and what do they want, what do they need, and how can you help them solve their problems. And then you have clients lost. Why did they not continue with you? It might be because they crushed their goals and they have all they want, so they're moving on, which is great. But these are things you need to track in your business. This is part of packed action, folks. This is the power of streaking. So in July, I was like, you know what? I should be able to walk 7,000 steps a day at the bare minimum. So that's what I started doing. And I'm on, I don't know what today is, but this was on day 270. It's going to be very hard for me to break that streak. Like I'm going to have to be sick and lied up to break that streak. Like, I'm going to have to be in the hospital to break that streak. So that's the power of streaking, because you're like, oh, I don't want to break that streak. I don't want to do it. So thank you for sticking around and playing full out. I hope that was beneficial to you. So this is a review of what we did. These were the program upgrades of today. So we talked about, I will show up with the facts, intentional focus, conscious feelings, and the aligned freedom plan. And you now have that worksheet. Adam will post it in the group, and my VIPs will be building that right now in a moment. But you're going to build that freedom plan. And what I would recommend is just doing one thing in each section. Don't try to do all three for each one. Just figure out one today. And then the number 5 is I remove physical power leaks and change my state by optimizing my sleeping, eating, and exercise. Oh, and just so you know, we did 1 through 3 yesterday. Now we're doing 4 and 5. Okay. So I remove physical power leaks and change my state by optimizing my sleeping, eating, and exercise. Basics. And number 6 is I take packed action, persistent, accountable, consistent, and trackable action. This is how you 10x your results. Now, some of us have stories around some of those. Some of us have feelings. Some of us have focuses that are blocking us from that. That's what I'm here for. Ask questions in the chat. Send me messages, y'all. Like, I'm here for you this week. Please use me. Please. Like, I'm asking you to help me help you, right? Like, you have an opportunity to change your life this week. Let's do it. Giveaway time. Whoop, whoop. All right. So we got our giveaway. Oh, did I upload it in here? I don't know. We're going to find out in a second. I know who won, but hold on. I didn't put it in. All right. I'm going to have to come out of this, y'all, for a second. So I did do it. So I'm just going to have to share a different screen. So I'm going to share the Loom that I did. So first off, I was super impressed with the so this is the board here. So I'm going to show you my the board that we have going. I was so impressed with all of your work, y'all. Like, super duper amazing work. It's being super slow. It's probably because I have a billion tabs going on. That's a habit I'm working on, y'all. Is he going to show me the board? It's going to be too slow. But I was so impressed with the board. Like, oh, there it is. Awesome. So the board is coming together so good. Like, so many of you are taking such amazing action. Like, really, really, really impressed with all of you. We had Karen win the VIP yesterday. She's up in the VIPs, which is awesome. So today's giveaway is a subconscious transformation. So where you get to choose from an RTT or a Beyond Quantum Healing, which is past life stuff and all that stuff. And really just getting into helping your subconscious guide you in whatever you're trying to create. So all of you did unbelievably awesome. And just so you know, like, all these people that have 9 points, they got 9 entries, 7.7, entry 6, and so on and so forth. You can catch up really easily, folks. And if you have any questions of, like, how do I get more points, just ask Adam. He'll take care of you. Like, he'll make sure you know exactly how to get more points. Because the next 2 days, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just be only utilizing the people that are that have 9 points, 7 points, or 6 points. Like, I'm not going to go any lower than that, because I want to make sure I'm really maximizing and giving massive love to the people that are really showing up, taking action, and getting results. Okay. So we got day 2 winner here. Let's see, day 2 winner. Let's see. So this was what I did earlier. I'll put you all in. It was pretty awesome. We had a great, here we go. So I clicked it. We had so many people up in here. And Anna was our winner. Congratulations, Anna. So is Anna Nelson Gonzalez was our winner. So reach out to me, Anna, send me a message or I'll send you a message and we'll get you all set up with that. That's going to be pretty epically game changer for you. So I'm stoked to do that with you. So that's that. So let's show you the homework real quick. All right, let's get back in day 2. The homework real quick for today is, so day 2 homework is what is the number one physical power leak you have right now? So identify, is it in the sleeping realm? Is it in the eating realm, or is it in the movement realm? So what's the number one power leak? And what is one packed action you need to take? So what's the one habit that you're going to either add or subtract? What's one? Just one you're going to add or subtract. And if you're subtracting it, how will you dismiss it and move your attention? And if you're adding one, what are you going to stack it with? So like, for example, let's say you're like, oh, I need to drink more water. Or let's say it's like, I need to take a walk around the block. You stack it with every time you eat, you take a walk around the block after that. That's an example. All right. So that's number one. What's the one habit that you need to do to reduce your power leaks physically? And then how are you going to track it as well? And then we do have one bonus point. Okay, I got bonus points for y'all because I like bonus points. So the bonus points, are, you can go in through that worksheet and you add one thing for each step of your freedom plan, and then you post that. Just post a picture of that sheet in the homework post. So I'll put that homework post in today or first thing tomorrow, and you can put all your stuff in there. All right, so you could get 2 points, y'all. 2 more points towards all this. So that is a wrap for day 2, folks. I really hope this helped. I hope this gave you some ideas of how to show up better, take persistent, accountable, consistent, and trackable action, and really how to break habits and upgrade your power leaks. So tomorrow, for those of you that are really interested in up-leveling your business, I decided to add in like a special day, and that's tomorrow. Like that, we're going to go deep into the business part of things. Okay. And if you don't have a business, or that has not even something that you're interested in, it's still going to be beneficial for you, because the things that we're going to talk about are applicable to anything. They really are. Like, it's just beneficial. But I can't wait to do it with y'all, and I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day. And like always, keep showing up, taking action, and you will get results.